We'll be comparing two of the biggest names in online banking, Ally Bank and SoFi. We'll be looking at what each one of these has to offer in terms of features and then comparing them to one another to find out which one is the best fit for you. So, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at SoFi. With SoFi, if you sign up for a checking account, you will also get a savings account along with it. While you don't have to fund each of these accounts, they do come together, so if you sign up for one, you'll get both. There are no minimum balance requirements for each of these accounts, and there are no fees that are associated with them as well. Focusing on the checking account first. Their checking account comes with a 0.50% APY. This account also comes with a debit card that can be used at retailers and also their network of 55,000 fee-free ATMs. Although SoFi is an online bank, they do provide a way to put cash deposit into the account by partnering with certain retailers in order to provide this service. They've also partnered with certain retailers to provide you cash back on purchases. You see this a lot with credit cards, but it actually is a little bit rare with debit cards these days to see a cashback program like that. Instead of relying on a third party like Zelle or Venmo, SoFi has developed their own system for sending money person to person. You would only need an email or a phone number in order to send the funds. As of the time of this recording, they're offering a $300 bonus for setting up an account with direct deposit. This $300 bonus is for new customers only, but they do have a way that if your employer does not provide direct deposit, that you could deposit money directly into the account and get the $300 bonus as well. If you do have a direct deposit set up with the account in the amount of more than $1,000 a month, then you'll also get overdraft coverage up to $50. Moving on to SoFi's savings account, there are no minimum balances or fees on this account either. There is no transfer limit for moving money into and out of the account, so you can do that freely as well. The APY on this account is 4.6%, which is quite impressive for a savings account. One of the bonus features on this account is roundups. When Roundups is activated, SoFi will round up any of your debit card purchases to the next dollar and put any of that extra money that's rounded up into your savings account so that you can start earning interest on that money. Additionally, they have an autosave feature, which is basically recurring transfers that you can put into your savings account. You can set this up to where it's either a percentage or a dollar amount of your direct deposits as your money's coming into the account. SoFi has a feature within their savings account called vaults. This allows you to set aside money towards different goals. For instance, if you had a down payment for a house or an emergency fund that you were trying to fund, you could create a vault and put money towards that savings goal. This would help you to track where you are in relation to your savings goals, and you can set up different vaults for different things, all within your savings account. Now, moving on to Ally Bank. Ally has labeled their checking account as a spending account. With Ally's spending account, there are no minimum balance requirements or fees associated with this account. Their advertised APY is 0.25%. However, this is only for balances over $15,000. Anything below $15,000 would receive a 0.1% APY. This account does come with a debit card that can be used at retailers and also their network of 43,000 fee-free ATMs. In a little bit of a variation from SoFi, with Ally's spending account, they do not provide the ability to deposit cash into the account. So if you did need to deposit cash into this account, it would probably involve having another bank set up in order for you to deposit cash there so that you could transfer it into Ally Bank. There are some people that prefer to have physical checks, and Ally actually will provide you with physical checks should you need them. So if you are a more traditional person who likes to have physical checks on hand, then you can get those upon request. Now, you can use Ally to send money person to person. Ally partners with Zelle to provide this person-to-person transfer service. One feature that is unique to Ally is their spending buckets. Ally will allow you to set up different categories for your spending. As you're spending money on things such as groceries or rent, you can set up different categories to capture these different transactions and put them into the different spending buckets so that you can track them throughout the month. You can have it set up to where you can manually put the transactions to each category, or you can automate it and allow them to determine the categories for you. You see this more and more for savings accounts, but this is the only place that I've ever found it for a spending account or a checking account. It's a really unique feature that allows you to keep up with your spending on the app as the month progresses. There are two different overdraft features that they have. One of them is called CoverDraft. This is a $100 overdraft protection program, or if you have direct deposit set up, it can be increased to $250 of overdraft protection. In addition to CoverDraft, they also have an overdraft transfer service that would transfer money over from your savings account in the event of an overdraft. There is no additional fee for either of these services, and you can use them as you want. You can use either one of them or both of them combined, just depending on your preference. Moving on to Ally's savings account. There are no minimum balance requirements for this account, and there are no fees as well. The APY for this account is a very impressive 4.35%. Ally has some additional features for their savings account that they call boosters. The first of which is roundups, which is similar to SoFi's in that if you make a purchase with your debit card, they'll round up that purchase to the next dollar and put that extra money into your savings account. Recurring transactions is, well, what it says it is, recurring transactions. You can set this to where it'll transfer money into your savings account from your checking account at specific intervals, whether it's a week or a month, depending on what you prefer. Their third booster is surprise savings. Whether you have an Ally spending account or an external linked checking account, they can analyze your accounts to see what your transaction data is each month. And if there's any money that they determine is safe to spend, then they'll transfer that money into your savings account. Similar to SoFi's vaults, Ally has what's called savings buckets. This allows you to save towards certain goals and to track your progress towards those certain goals. You can create up to 30 different savings buckets in Ally's account to help you keep track of your savings goals towards different things. For instance, like for vacation or an emergency fund. While I mentioned that there were no fees for this account, it is worth mentioning that there is a transaction limit for this account. You can only withdraw money 10 times per statement cycle. Now, you won't be charged a fee if you go over this, but if you repeat that too many times, then they do reserve the right to close your account. When comparing APYs, SoFi checks in a little bit ahead of Ally on their checking account with a 0.50 APY compared to the 0.25. In the savings account, again, they win just by a little with a 4.6 APY. However, this is if you have direct deposit. If you did not have the option for direct deposit, then you would drop your percentage rate to 1.2%, losing out to Ally's 4.35%. So here, it really depends on your financial situation as to which one would be the best. Now, when we take a look at their checking accounts as a whole, they both do have some budgeting tools to help you get on top of your budget. However, Ally's spending buckets do provide you with a lot of insight in your spending habits and help you to analyze what you're spending each month. If we take a look at their savings features, we find that they're pretty similar. They both have recurring transactions and roundups, and either savings vaults or buckets depending on which one you're looking at. The one additional feature that Ally would have is their surprise savings feature that analyzes your checking account to move money over automatically. So if that feature is something you're looking for, then that would put a point on the Ally side. We didn't mention any additional services in this review. However, both Ally and SoFi do have additional services beyond checking and savings that they offer, so it might be worth a look on their website to see the total offerings that they have to see if any of those things additionally would help you out. For me, comparing these two, Ally Bank and SoFi, I've got to give it to SoFi. For me, this was a very close race, but the combination of SoFi's 4.6 APY and the ease of using their app were too much to overcome from Ally. Now, if I could take the spending buckets from Ally and move them over into the SoFi app, then that would be the perfect app for me. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, please consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate your support. And here are a couple of videos that you may find interesting. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.